What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. And here with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spread Astaire? How are you this morning?
Oh, I am great, man. I'm excited to talk to you today. Catching up on the Twitter timeline right now. The hot takes are flying. And of course, that's what we do right here in this social media age, right? Jason Tatum was the greatest player in the world after Game 7, and now everyone's back to calling him a bum. It's funny how things change from day to day on the Bird app. But we got 2 series, and they're both exciting. 4 great teams left, so can't wait to break this down with you.
Yeah, because Jason Tatum is inconsistent. That's
Yeah.
the difference between legit superstars and guys who are stars without the super. It's because the consistency of being able to do it. And the thing is, we kind of sleep on Jimmy Butler because during the regular season, Jimmy Butler's gotten to the age now with him being 33 where he knows, like, I have to pace myself. I can't give all my, juice during the regular season on these meaningless games. But if you look at his record in the last 3 years, he has a better record than LeBron and Steph with his teams in Miami in the playoffs. So Jimmy Butler is the real deal. It's time we respect him. As I said, he's effortlessly athletic. It's crazy because he makes everything look so easy, so smooth. And as you know, he's a Houston hometown boy, straight out of Tomball, Texas, where my son actually lives now. He lives in Tomball. But the other thing, man, that went on was we missed the day because I was busy yesterday. I apologize about that. I had other things going that didn't allow time for Spread and I to do the show. But the draft lottery went on, so I hope that my Rockets learned a difficult lesson. Don't tank. The model for the Houston Rockets ever since I've been born, and you know that, Spread, as someone who's watched NBA basketball over 20, 30 years. It's always been a star-driven franchise. The Rockets have always went and got known stars. We've always did. Besides drafting Hakeem back in the game, which was like an undeniable draft pick, like who's not going to take him? Even with Steve Francis was drafted, those were down and lean years in Houston, man. So as you know from the free agency, we wouldn't got Clyde Drexler before. We wouldn't got Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen. That's just part of what Houston is and how we run our franchise because we prided ourselves as being one of the top tier franchises in the league. When people talk about the top teams in the NBA for years, it always was the Lakers, the Celtics, and then you had that second group of teams who were like, the Rockets, the Spurs, other teams that were really, represented well yearly and really known franchise. And I hate that the Rockets have gotten to this losing stuff now and it didn't work out right for him. Wembanyama ends up at the perfect place for him going to San Antonio. What do you think about that?
Yeah, can't deny their luck, right? They've been in like the lottery like 3
What
times.
luck?
They came out with David Robinson, Dustin, Women.
Yeah, I was wondering why Pop was right up being so quiet about all this losing he's been doing the last 3 years. He had a plan. Tony Parker was the guy who found Victor Wembanyama. We didn't find him.
Yeah,
Victor Wembanyama's parents played ball too in France, but he's the one that first signed him to his first professional contract, like at 16 or something. He played for Asbel. Which is the team that Tony Parker owns. The last team he played for was Boris Diaw's team. So, what a coincidence. He's in San Antonio.
yeah. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. It's a great class overall, though. We'll see what the Hornets do it too. Hornets have not been making good decisions for a long time, and I don't think you build around LaMelo. I think that you draft whoever's the best player there. I don't think you say, "Oh, we don't take Scoot because he's not going to fit next to LaMelo." That's like the Kings not taking Luka because of Fox. Now, maybe they wouldn't have fit, but we would have had a heck of more assets than we did Marvin Bagley for a second rounder or whatever we traded him for 2 years later, right?
Yeah.
And then let's see. So who's at 3? Portland. So they'll have either Brandon Miller or Scoot.
They're trading out. They're trading. They're trying to trade.
So?
They've already been saying they want to get a veteran. They're trading.
Wow.
And if they do, that's smart. They're too young, just like the Hornets, man. The Hornets have all these guards. They just been drafting guards. Every year they just drafted the kid out of UConn, and he's pretty good. He just was hurt the last couple seasons, So I don't know, man. I don't know what Charlotte's going to do, like you said, but they'll screw it up.
is that Portland does not trade the number 3 pick, which turns out to be Brandon Miller, to Memphis, because I don't want to see Brandon Miller and John Moran on the same team. That will
Oh
not
my
go down well.
goodness, that would bring everything out. Brandon Miller is all about the place that he lands. I wouldn't mind him in Houston. I feel like he's the same
No,
thing as Jabari Smith. He's a
yeah.
tall 6'9", 6'10" guy who likes to play defense and he can shoot. And I think he's going to be a much better pro as time goes on and those, allegations kind of go away about everything that he was unfortunately a part of with the young lady losing her life in Alabama because of one of his silly teammates who decided to shoot a girl because she didn't want to talk to him. But yeah, man, I
Well,
really
who do
hope
you
that he
want it
gets his stuff
for?
together.
You know college better than me. I think those guys are going top 3 regardless, right? If you
The
trade
guy
for the
that I
number 3
want,
pick, you're
hmm
getting Miller or Scoot, right? I mean, that's who you're trading for.
the guy that I want isn't considered top five, but I'm more familiar with him from watching college. Most of these guys, like the Thompson twins and guys like that, they went straight to the pros. A lot of them don't even play, didn't play college. Scoot, he never played college, so I'm not familiar with those guys at all. But I did like the highlights that I saw on Amen Thompson. He looks really good. He looks really explosive. He looks long. He looks like he could be a real player in the league. And his brother is pretty good himself too. So um, I've been, I know a little bit about the Thompson twins, but overall, I like Cam Whitmore from Villanova. He's six
Mm.
seven, super strong, can shoot the three, has feathery touch. He's almost like a mellow type, man. But the thing I like about him, he likes to play D. He doesn't have a problem with locking down and playing some defense. I really, really was impressed by him when I used to watch Villanova play. So I'd go with Cam Whitmore at that spot, me personally.
All right. Well, we'll see how that turns out. And I don't know much about the guys that will be drafting in the 20s. But hey, hopefully Keegan Murray's brother will be around. That'd be a fun story
Oh,
for
you're
that
going to
episode.
get him. They're going to slip on him, and I guarantee you that the King. Remember, I told you this as soon as you guys got Keegan. I guarantee you, you're going to steal the brother, and the brother is
I
just
hope
like him,
so.
but left-handed. It is so he's
That
going
would
to
be
be
sweet.
a great rotational player. Where Keegan will probably be the star and actually start, but I guarantee you, Chris will get plenty playing time for you guys as the years go by because he can really stroke the ball. He's left-handed, and they're twins. He's the same exact size, the same exact athleticism. They aren't different. A lot of times you have twins whose games are completely different. Like the Thompson twins, their games are different. Alsar is more of the shooter, but with these two guys, they're literally peas in a pod. They play just alike. You could tell they're really close because they play the exact same way. It's just one's left-handed, one's right-handed. So I think you guys are going to steal him. Have you seen about what's going on with J.R. Smith going to war with his ex-coach?
No, what happened there?
You haven't been seeing what's been going on with
No,
him? And
I told you I was off the timeline all night. All
oh yeah, that's right,
I just watched the game and I even had it on
right.
mute, so I wasn't even keeping up.
Okay, so George Carl is been he's always in the media running his mouth about little stuff and his little opinions and stuff. He's been Twitter fingers for about the last 3-4 years on players and talking really
Bro, when
bad
I get
about
to
some
be that
players.
age, will you just take away my account?
He's got old and grumpy guy. Now I'm going to talk all of the shit that I've been wanting to say about these players, but I couldn't say. So he's been going ham. So he says all this stuff. So J.R. Smith's like, George Carl's talking all this stuff. He didn't even have a timeout play. Like, he didn't even have inbound plays. And everybody's like, wow, is George Carl's like, J.R. Smith's high. Like, trying to put it on like he's been smoking, like he's on drugs or something, like he's high. Like, so yesterday, it came out that Chauncey Billups was on a NBA podcast, and he said the same thing. He was like, I came over from Detroit. I'm asking my guys, Killian Martin, those guys. I'm thinking they just, ribbing me. I'm like, hey, what's, some inbound plays that we're going to run? It's like we don't run inbound plays. So he says he gets to practice, and he asks George Carl, hey, what's the inbound play? He said, get open. I said, what the hell? So this guy's been coaching these guys making millions of dollars every year, didn't have one inbound play. And guess what he said? Chauncey said his excuse was that way they can't scout it. I said, this guy can't be serious, man. This guy can't be serious, man. But we got some exciting basketball going on right now. Let's get to the past, Spread.
Yeah, let's dive right in. Let's start. So we missed yesterday. So let's just start with the Lakers. They lost game one against the Nuggets. You know, I'm rooting for the Nuggets there.
Of course you are.
The over was an easy bet.
Yeah.
You gave out the +6. It pushed. Um,
I got 6.5.
okay, great. A lot of
Yeah,
people had
yeah.
6. So
Yeah, I
for
got six
most,
and a
I'd
half.
say for most bettors, they pushed.
Yeah.
My question to you is this, and I talked about this on the NBA rundown yesterday. So let's just take the gambling out real quick. Let's just take this as a perspective as I'm rooting for the Nuggets.
Okay.
Should I be encouraged that they got that big lead and they were able to hold on? They have a 1-0 lead. Now they only have to win 3 of the next 6, and they got 3 of them at home. Or should I be discouraged because it feels like the Lakers found something out in that second half, and you think they're going to build on that momentum the same way Jason Tatum built on his momentum from game 6 and just took it right into game 7 against the Sixers? Would you be encouraged or discouraged by how that game went if you're a Nuggets fan?
Personally, I would definitely be discouraged. And the reason why I would be discouraged, the reason I would be discouraged is because they made some adjustments. And when the Lakers made the adjustments and went to Hachimura on Jokic, we saw a complete change in what Denver was able to do. Now we'll see um, if the second generation coach over there for the Nuggets is able to use some of his skills. We know that he's one of the better coaches in the league. He's really, really a sharp guy. We'll see if he's able to kind of counter adjust to, the Hachimura, because I'm expecting Hachimura probably to start this game after what we saw. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up starting. But the Lakers are in a good position. Even though they lost their last game, they have to leave that game with a lot of momentum with the push that they were able to make in the fourth quarter. They had them sweating in Denver at the end of that game. And if it wasn't for a couple of calls that didn't go their way, they might would have sneaked out of there with a victory. But as you see from the line movement and what the books threw out today with the 5.5, they saw something too, because usually these lines stay exactly the same the next game when these teams match up. If it's another road home, exact same matchup. So the books are telling you about going to 5.5 what they think about tonight, but we'll talk about that on the present.
All right, we will go into that. Then let's talk about last night. I said it before. The Celtics, you don't back them unless their backs are against the wall. And I felt like they proved it. It felt like it was like a lackadaisical effort, a little bit of overconfidence there. And then you're going against a Jimmy Butler team. And I did see this on the timeline. It was a good tweet. Can't remember who said it, but they said the Heat play the whole 48 minutes like it's the last 2 minutes of the game. Their intensity is unmatched. And you talked about it before, how teams feed off mainly their superstar, but also their coach. 2 really intense guys that's translating to the floor. And although, if you were just trade off both teams, the Boston Celtics have way more talent, right? Because you get way more in return for all those pieces on the Boston Celtics. It doesn't matter. I mean, the Heat played better. They got the one that they need. Because even if they lose game 2, right, they head back to Miami, where they played very well so far in this postseason. If you take out that playing game where I don't even know what happened. I mean, looking back, is that the biggest aberration at all?
Yeah,
How did this team
huge
lose to the Atlanta
aberration.
Hawks?
And I had
It
the
threw me
Hawks.
off.
It was weird. Yeah.
That messed up my whole mind. What did you think about that game last night? We've talked about it before, man. These Boston Celtics, talk about playing with your food. They're having full-on food fights in Boston.
They're in trouble. I told you that's why we took in the future the last episode plus 400 with Miami, and Miami plus 2.5 games. I think Miami's going to win the series. And the reason I do is just because it's supposed to. He has too big of an advantage going against the young guy, Mazzulla, for the Celtics. He just has a huge bench advantage. You saw in the second half, it wasn't even close. Miami beat them the whole second half. Like, in their adjustments, the Celtics weren't able to counter any of it. Um, Great team win for the Heat. I put out, since we didn't do the show, I gave out Max Strus. We've been just riding him. He's been good every game, over 11.5. He goes for 15. In actuality, um, they had 6 players with over 15 points. That's unheard of, man. What great contributions. What a great team effort by the Heat. They continue to just um, move that franchise into different zones and echelons of greatness, kind of like the old Celtics teams, old Spurs teams, where it really doesn't matter. You could just plug and play because they have a system that comes down from the top, and they execute it perfectly, man. And that's why you saw Jimmy Butler in the interview. First thing he said, Coach Spo, and Coach Pat. So that Pat Riley's at those practices. Don't think he isn't. You know, he's down there. He's at every practice. Sometimes he might not take the floor, but he's there and he's helping his young guy Spo. As you know, Spo is like his son. You know, he's mentored him his whole life. They have the same exact story with Pat Riley coming from the film room with the Lakers and becoming the head coach. Same thing that Eric Spoelstra did with Miami. I just was listening to a Jimmy Jackson interview yesterday, and Jimmy Jackson was saying they used to call him Little Spo. You know, when he worked there because he was just a little film guy, but they said well, everyone liked him. You know, and he was a guy that gave a lot of effort. And 20 years later, now he's becoming one of the best NBA coaches of all time, and pretty much is a lock to go to the Hall of Fame now when he retires, man. Um, Roster building. Everyone looked at Pat Riley crazy when he added all these veteran guys that he got, like Kyle Lowry, Cody Zeller, Kevin Love. They didn't look like much. They look pretty good in the playoffs now, don't they? And then they're able to get the most out of these unknown prospects. Max Strus, great player at DePaul. Caleb Martin, outstanding player in Nevada, and he just didn't land in the right place. And now you saw he's pretty much being able to phase out Jaylen Brown because he's pretty much the first game he gave the Heat the same type of secondary play that Jaylen Brown is supposed to give Jason Tatum. He gave to Jimmy Butler. So if he could play like that, he's neutralizing Jaylen Brown and the fact that the Celtics were supposed to have like a two-head monster. It looks like Caleb Martin is becoming a real factor on this Heat team, man. You know, he's a great scorer. He's super athletic, super competitive. I still remember him and his brother in Nevada. Nevada has never been as good as they were when he was there. You know, they were some real ballers, man. They took down some top competition, and now he's with the perfect program to use, you know, his skill set, man. And I'm just really always amazed each game as it goes by about the Heat and how they do things and how they win. It's truly team ball and truly a great organization.
All right, so we got to give them credit, but of course, I, I mean, I expect Boston to win game two. Here's the thing, though. Everybody's on to this little trend that we're talking about, right? I'm not giving out
Hmm.
some secret sauce.
Right.
I'm pulling up Bookmaker right now just to double check because I don't want to give out wrong information or maybe the lines move. But from what I saw last night, this line, okay, it was as high as 9.5. That's too
Right.
high. It's +9.
That's
I
way
mean,
too high.
Boston could easily win this game and not cover the spread. The total went up 4 points. It's 215.5. Of course, we'll talk about that more tomorrow. But I mean, this idea. Hey, so I expect Boston to bounce back, right? Because they've done this all year, right? I mean, how bad did they look after Game 5? We even thought that we'd be talking about Philadelphia in this conference
Right.
series because Boston, out of all the teams left, um, they're the most schizophrenic would be the right word, or bipolar, right? I mean, they're just
Right.
you're not getting the same effort every single night, but they've consistently shown with their backs against the wall they've got it done. +9's a lot. We'll break that more down tomorrow. Let's move into tonight. The Los Angeles Lakers. They're taking more money, 5-star. It's down
Yeah.
to +5 here. You talked about it. So people are on this idea that the Lakers figured out the Nuggets. The total, it was 222 last game, went all the way up to 226 as the two teams put up, what was it, 158
Yeah.
or 258 in the last game. That was an easy over. Talk to me about how we're going to approach tonight, or are we saving that one for the ball and parlay?
No, I'll talk about the side that I have. I definitely would be with the Lakers. That's the side I lean for sure. On the ball and parlay, I give out a prop. But as far as in the game, I do think the Lakers get it done tonight. I think that they find a way to win this game, and I think they dominate early. I wouldn't be surprised if this game goes under. I think that Darvin Ham makes some adjustments, and that a high octane offense that we saw from the Nuggets, we don't see it again tonight. I don't think they executed such a high level. Literally, they weren't missing shots. They they were making threes at a ridiculous rate, and I can't see them shooting that well back to back. I know they play really good at home, but I think the Lakers make some adjustments. And if we've seen anything, we know that Darvin Ham has been great at making adjustments. But he's also facing off another guy who's not, a spring chicken when it comes to coaching. He knows what he's doing. His dad was a coach before him, and I really have a lot of respect for him and how he's built the Nuggets. Actually, you guys had him in Sacramento first. That's where he started at, right?
You know why he got? Oh wait, no, that was Jaeger. Never mind. Yeah, no, we did have Malone. He got along really well with DeMarcus Cousins.
Him and DeMarcus Cousins were tight. If they would have let him build it up, I think he could have did with Sacramento what he did with the Nuggets, because he had visions of making DeMarcus the same thing that we're seeing with Jokic.
Yeah. So I was so upset when that happened. I mean, that was back when Vladdy was running things, and it was absolutely terrible. So, great job by Malone. Right now, I haven't bet this yet. I'm almost feeling like contrarian. I feel like everyone I've talked to is on the Nuggets here. I mean, it's on the Lakers here. I want to see where this line goes. But I'll tell you what, it's not a good breakdown. It's just contrarian, where I know it's never that easy, right? It feels
because last night it was 70% on Miami. Last night everybody was on the Heat.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's not just a way to go. But
we're learning overall that usually the contrarian works overall percentages, but game by game it's not a lock. So because I said last night, it was so much money on the Heat, and not only do they cover, they win the game outright. And just briefly about that series, did you know that makes the Celtics, I believe they're 4-5 or either 4-4 at home during the playoffs.
Yeah, they're 4-4, and no other team left in the conference finals has lost a home playoff game this series.
They haven't lost a home playoff game. That's why, or Miami. So tonight, either the Lakers give the Nuggets their first loss, or they continue being undefeated home, and we see if Miami can keep it going. If they can, if the trends stay the same, then we'll see Miami in the world championship.
Yeah, and I don't want to just pencil Miami into the final spot last night. We know that coming off the Game 7s wins, teams traditionally don't perform well.
But let's think about this: Sixers, with that coach, with that team leader, versus the Sixers in a closeout situation with Doc Rivers, Embiid, and Harden. It's a major difference. So that playing with their food stuff that the Celtics do, it's not going to be as easy to continue that with the Heat. The Heat aren't just the team like the Sixers are going to get tight in big games. They're not going to get tight. They're going to play better. So I think the Celtics in trouble, as I said. But as far as the Nuggets and the Lakers tonight, the money's 50-50. So it's right down the middle, just like the books used to like it. So I'm on the Lakers, though, personally, and money line.
All right. You got a future that I won't be rooting for, but I think it's a good bet. Give the people the future.
Man, I got to double down on the Lakers. I got them 25-1, and I got them 15-1 to win the West. I got to take this 5-1 now, just because of that performance in Game 1. Them and the Heat have some great numbers, plus 750 for the Heat to win a championship, and the Lakers at 5-1. Just they've already penciled in the Nuggets versus the Celtics. They have actually even Jason Tatum and Jokic lead for possible Finals MVP. They're like plus 160 and plus 180, and the same numbers to go to the finals. I don't think it's that easy. I think that just because they lost one game.
One thing I'd like to say about that, though, those are on the Lakers, you can give it to either AD or LeBron. Right, so that kind of skews those numbers. Where if the Nuggets win, it's a 95% chance. I would say the Celtics, it's a little lower, like maybe Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown can definitely win. Jaylen Brown can win the Finals MVP.
So they love Tatum. Brown will go out there.
Who played better in the finals last year?
Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
If they win, Tatum gets all the credit no matter what. And we talked about Brown winning the league, and that's the reason. Tatum puts up 33, Brown puts up 29, and everyone going Tatum MVP. Why? Because he scored 4 more points.
Because he scored 4 more points. Yeah, and committed how many? It committed how many travels?
Yeah, and Brown's usually having to cover the tougher defensive assignment. You see
he
what I'm
always
saying?
does.
He always does. They give Tatum credit no matter what. I mean, and that's how it goes in the NBA, right? And
it's a thankless job what he has.
Every single time a coach wins, they're genius. Every time, like for example. I know. First of all, I think Doc Rivers is done. Like, let's get him off. But he's not the reason they lost. Joel Embiid
he's one of the reasons
they lost. 5 of 18. Your star's 5 of 18. Phil Jacksons are
Yeah,
overcoming that. Red
that's true.
Auerbachs are overcoming that. Your
That's
stars
true.
out there, your 7-foot centers out there on the 3-point line, begging for foul
Scared
calls
of
instead of getting
contacts.
down low.
Scared of
That's
contact,
not.
shooting threes, and haven't hit one all series. He was like probably like 2 out of 30 and kept shooting them. I'm like, what the hell is this
Yeah.
dude doing?
So
And he shied away from the moment.
that was just my point about those MVP odds because I mean, really, I'd say LeBron AD are 50-50. They might give it to LeBron just off the name. I could see AD going for like 30 and 14 and LeBron still getting the MVP if he has one 50-point, or probably not a 50. He probably doesn't have a 50-point game left in him, but he drops a 40-point game in game 6 or, just crushes in an elimination game. I could see LeBron getting that even if AD
the type of game he had in that elimination game against the Warriors definitely was an MVP
and
type
and you know
performance.
how he paces himself. So if there's a game 6 or a game 7 with everything on the line, you're going to get that 2015 version.
Yeah, you're going to get that 2015.
But
like I said, I like the Lakers plus 500, but just real quickly, Spread. Also, just for you guys that did bet the Heat with me plus 400 and plus 2.5. Now's your time to start the hedge. You already got opportunity right now.
I got Celtics minus 222 on my book.
Still for the series?
Yeah. Heat's plus 192 right now. I already got the play. You know what I got? Because
what's that?
Bro, I waited. I didn't put it in when we talked. I put it in. I was working out. Like, I forgot to make the bet. I got like plus 435.
Nice.
Celtics kept taking money. I'm like, I don't know who's rushing to lay minus 500 or whatever. It was wild.
Yeah,
like,
so that means wait then. We need to wait till Miami goes home game 3. Hopefully gets a victory, go up 2-1, and then we can do the hedge on that one then. We need to wait because that juice isn't any good right there. And I just heard Jimmy Butler's interview. Jimmy Butler said in his interview, we're trying to win every game and finish this as quick as possible. When he said that, he was letting me know that game 2, they're not trying to cut back, hold back. I think that Miami smells blood, and I think that Pat Riley is telling those guys that old school Lakers mentality and Heat mentality he had when he was the coach there. And that's, let's get this series over as quick as possible. We have 7 more games from winning the world championship. So let's get to these 7 games. And I don't think the Heat are raising off the brakes at all.
All right, let's go to the Ball and Parlay. You have some winners for us. We'll let you start off here. What you got?
Man, we've been smoking on the Ball and Parlay. If you've been playing them, you've been doing really, really well. I'm going to go first with KCP, Contavious Caldwell Pope. You know, he's from Clutch Sports. Him and LeBron are cool. He's an ex-Laker. He's probably the first guy that LeBron got over to L.A. When he first was building his version of the Lakers. And every time he see the Lakers, man, he's going to come with fire in his eyes and try to show them that they made a mistake by letting them go. He's over there now with the Nuggets, found another opportunity to win, and there's nothing he likes to do more than try to get at the Lakers and bust their asses, So I think that KCP comes out as usual with his head on fire. His number's super low. It's at 10.5. He averages 11 points a game. It's been 9.5, but the books woke up that it's been just too easy taking him at that number. He scored 21 points the last 2 games that he's played. He had one clinker against he had 3 straight clunkers actually against Phoenix, but before that, even so, he was putting up some really decent numbers. I just think that he's going to get the shots and opportunities. He's going to get the fast breaks, get a couple steals, just enough to get over the points. I love to bet these others in these situations. So let's go KCP tonight to go over 10.5 points against his former team, the Lakers. Also, I'm going to go with my girl, Rebecca. Rebecca is one of my favorite. I say out of my players, all time, my favorite player is probably Sloan. Sloan was my favorite when she was on top of her game, but now she's, got older, fell off a little bit. Sabalenka's next. That's my girl. I've been riding with Sab for 6-7 years since she first hit the tour. Right after that's Rebecca. I've been riding with Rebecca since she was playing challengers, and I was like, this girl is like 6'1", man, and she could serve, and and I got on her and I've been riding, and she won me a lot of money in Wimbledon last year, and I think that she's showing she's just not playing enough tennis right now, but she's really probably number 1 in the world. If you just really look at what she's doing, man, every time she faces your girl Iga can't get her, man, and that's Iga dominates everyone except her and Sabalenka. But on clay, she can beat Sabalenka. She can't beat Rebecca on clay, and that's a problem, man. So Rebecca gets your other girl, Ostapenko. I don't think Ostapenko is disciplined enough to beat Rabakina. I wouldn't be surprised if she wins a set. It's a good match, but I think Rabakina wins the more clutch points and is able to hold still. You know how she is. Alina she doesn't show any emotions on the court, whether she does good or does bad. The most you might get out of her is a little smile, little nod, head nod or something. That's what I really like about her. She has great temperament to play tennis. She's beyond her years when it comes to maturity on the court, man. And I really like everything that she does. So I think that she's just a little bit too strong for Ostapenko. Even though Ostapenko is a hell of a player on clay, she's getting her game back. One of the most aggressive players on the tour. I think the Rybakina just outthinks her and outlasts her. And so in probably a 3-set great match, I still like Rybakina, and I think she still covers the 2.5 because you know how Ostapenko does. When she goes sour, she's going sour bad. So it'll be like a 1-6-1 set up in there, a 6-2 set somewhere that she loses, and she probably wins another one 6-4 or so. And then I expect Rybakina maybe to get the next one 7-5, 6-3 or something like that. So we're going to go with Rybakina minus 160. And also we're going to lay the games at minus 2.5 against Spread's favorite player. His 1A and 1B is Ostapenko, and right next to his old Dasha. So sorry about that. And we already wiped out your other girl, Iga. Iga's probably your third favorite, and she got her yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I was calling her trying to get her to pick up. You know, she playing tennis.
Did you watch that match real quick? I'm sorry to cut you off.
I saw people talking about it on Twitter though.
They were so mad at me. All Eagles fans were coming at me. But, man, I watched the whole match. Eagle wasn't hurt like that. But she got frustrated. She thought that she was rolling the first set. She did some dirty stuff, bro. She left her phone supposedly by accident in her bag, right? So right when Rybakina's serving a really important point on her first set, the phone just goes off and is ringing all over the stadium. And everybody's looking like, who the hell is doing this? And Rybakina's getting, trying to be cool, but like, what's going on? She says, wait 1 second, goes to her bag, pulls out a cell phone, gives it to the little ball girls, and they run it up to her people. And I'm like, what the hell is this? What's going on? So, of course, Rybakina gets broke right after that because she's taking like 5 minutes before she gets to serve again. And after that, Eagles rolling on her, pumping her fist and doing how she does when she's winning and stuff. Second set, she breaks her early. Looks like Rybakina's dead. Rybakina roars back, breaks her, wins the set. Soon as she wins the set in the tiebreak, I saw Eagle's face. She's a sore loser. She's like all worried now, talking to herself because she hasn't beaten the girl in the last. This was the first time she won a set off her in like eight different sets. So in 8 straight sets. So I think Rybakina won 7 straight against her or something. So next, here comes Iga on the last point of the set. She grabs her thigh and just stands there for a second, takes a breath, gets the trainer. They go wrap her. She goes to the back. She comes out, serves a great first point. Rybakina wins her point. Comes back, serves great again. Then Rybakina serves. Rybakina gets a 40 love. She just quits. I'm like, come on, man. Like, she couldn't even endure the possible loss. Like, I'd rather just quit. I'm going to blame it on the injury. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but we'll see how it goes. And definitely, French Open odds are changing. She was a shoo-in, and now
I'm fading her. I'm fading her. I like Rybakina or Sabalenka to win one. Win.
Watch out though, because that French is like 10 times slower than the rest of the tour.
Right.
I hate how
What is she now? Is she 3 straight? How many has she won? Is it 3 or 2?
Not 3. No,
it's 2 then, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think who won 3 years before that. Like,
I thought it was 3, but she's had a good run there.
No, because that year was weird. It was played in like football season, and we didn't really pay attention to it.
Right, because something happened. You're right. Because COVID.
Yeah,
you're right.
Like
you're right.
Year. They played in October. I remember it was freezing cold. Victoria Azarenka. I remember this. She's going to I'm from Florida.
I know that's right, Vicky.
Because right now it's pretty it's a nice time of year there, so
yeah,
they were not happy about it. My final pick is I'm going with Aaron Gordon over 5.5 rebounds for tonight. Let me pull up these numbers. What I have with Aaron Gordon, he's gone over this rebounding prop total of 5.5 in 9 of his last 11 games. He's averaging 5.9 rebounds per game. I think that's one of the things that the Nuggets have over the Warriors when they match up with the Lakers is they're a much bigger team. I mean, the Lakers made the Warriors look small, and I know that like small ball was the rage, but we see how things evolve or teams adjust, and I feel like people are understanding how to just beat that lineup with size, old school style. So regardless of what the outcome is tonight, I think the props are the best way to attack it. I'm kind of on the fence on the side. I mean, a lot of smart people I know are on the Lakers there. So I'm going to attack the props. I like Aaron Gordon over 5.5 rebounds.
All right, we're going to go with the props. Prop cities. We're going with the guys who don't have the spotlight on them as much. With the KCP over 10.5 and Aaron Gordon over 5.5 and Robert Keena to beat Ostapinko -160 and -2.5 games. Anything for the people spread before we get out of here?
No, man, I'm excited for a great weekend of NBA basketball and for a bunch of overreactions on Twitter, right? I mean, maybe Jason Tatum comes out, drops 50, and he's better than Kobe Bryant again. I mean,
who the hell said he was better than Kobe Bryant?
You understand my point, right? These guys have one good game, and they're just the best thing ever. And then they have
Jason Taylor he plays too upright, and he's kind of stiff. It's just that what it is he's one of those guys that's a real flamethrower. When he's hot shooting, his height, he can shoot over you because people don't realize he's 6'10".
He's 6'10".
He's 6'10", so he can step back and shoot over you. And when he's seeing the goal, he's one of the best, 3-point shooters we've seen in the league. And that's where he gets most of his points. His drives, if the refs don't, bail him out and they just let him, let it play out, he doesn't make really good fluid moves. And even like when he gets on ISO situations with guys, he tends to travel a lot, man, because some reason he got this stupid move that he does where he literally is jumping up and trying to hold his foot, but you're jumping up, dude. You can't do that. That's travel, So no, he needs to work on his game a little bit. And I know he does. Obviously, that's why he's so good. I mean, I was on him at Duke being a good NBA player because of his shot making ability and his size, but it's just, I don't know. Some people just don't have that fluidity like we talk about with Jimmy Butler. How his feet, hands, everything coordinate and work so well when he's whether he's making a shot, a step back, a rebound, a pass, it just looks smooth and fluid. I don't get that from Jason Tatum. Everything looks a little manufactured. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so we'll see how it goes, but we know, the overreactions will be fine, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So
I'm taking the heat, and I'll tell you tomorrow. You can already put that for my ball and parlay. I'm taking the heat +9. If they 9 points, that's way too many points. They're not going to get blew out like that.
I think a lot of people are on this Boston bounce back. I don't think that, like, if you wait till tomorrow, I think the line's still going to be there.
It might be 10, right?
It might be. I'll bet you they get a bunch of money right before tip.
Yeah. Well, I'm going
to
wait on it.
A bunch of public money. Now, will that move the line? We don't know, but I'll bet you a bunch of everyone's on this. When Boston got their back against, I'm not the only one who says it. They play so much better. But it's just frustrating. I can't imagine being a Celtics fan. Like, you got to get punched in the face before you do anything. I mean, it's rough. So, all right, we'll be back tomorrow breaking down the Heat game, and then we're talking about whether it is the Nuggets. See, here's the thing. I mean, I said this in game 1, but I feel the same way tonight. The Nuggets have to win this game. The Lakers don't.
Nope.
I still think the Lakers have a chance to win the series if they go back 2-0.
Yeah, they do.
I don't like the Nuggets' chances if they go back 1-1. This is going to be a fantastic game tonight. Can't wait to see it.
Best of luck to y'all. We'll talk to you tomorrow.